for State Senate against Russ Decker, and that's Jimmy Boy Edmond.
Thank you, Travis. To start with, I'm going to tell you a joke, and there's a reason for this joke. This guy was walking down the street one day in town, and he decided, I think I'm going to stop and have a drink. So he went in this bar and looked around. There was a robot behind the bar. The robot says, "How you doing there, my friend?" And the guy kind of looked at him. And, well, he says, "I'm doing well." And the bartender says, the robot says, "What can I help you with?" Well, he says, I'll have a martini. So the old robot said, "Coming right up." Went back behind the bar, mixed everything up, come back, set it in front of him. Best martini he ever had. Wow, you know. So there's kind of a little cheap talk going on there. Pretty soon, the robot said to him, he said, "Say, mister," he said, "what's your IQ?" The guy said, "Well, I don't really like to talk about it," but he said, "My IQ is around 240, 230, somewheres in there." The robot said, "Oh, well, okay, well, what do you think of the molecular science?" And he's talking about all of the outer space program and this kind of stuff. And the guy thought, boy, this is something else, and he left. And a couple of weeks later, he thought, I got to go back and try him again. So he went back in the same bar. The robot said the same thing, ordered another drink, was fantastic, and a little cheap talk. And the robot says to me, he says, "Say, mister," he says, "what's your IQ?" The guy said, "Well," he says, "my IQ is 100. Then the old robot says, "Well," he said, "you know, what do you think of that Packer game the other night where the Vikings took them, and I think of the price of haircuts went up, and, you know, just talked about plain, common, ordinary things." And he thought, "But that's quite rare, you know." He left, and about 2 weeks later, he walked in there again. He couldn't take her anymore. Same thing, ordered his martini. The robot says to him, "What's your IQ?" The guy said, "It's 50. The robot says, "Are you glad you voted for Obama?" And I'm telling you that story, and I'm sure that our candidates can relate to this. When we're out doing doors and when we're talking with people, we have no idea if we're talking to someone with a 230, somebody with 100, somebody with a 50 or whatever. We have to adapt and swing into that and be able to intelligently talk with whoever we run into. Now that robot had one serious advantage over us, and that's he could ask the question, "What's your IQ?" Now I want to take us from that scenario to, we have all just graduated from high school yesterday. And we all attended the finest private grade schools and high schools in the United States. And Daddy says to us, "You know, you've done a good job in school, and Daddy's got a lot of money. I think I'm going to send you to the most famous, prestigious universities in the world." So he sends us to Yale and to Harvard and all of these fancy universities, and we are members of the finest fraternities and sororities, and when we get out of there, we are so ungodly smart that no one can even compare to our intelligence. When we graduate from high school or from college, we come home and Daddy says, "You know, I think what I'm going to do is I'd like to see you in politics." So he reaches down into Hip National, he pulls out this big sack of money, and he runs us through the political program. And because of his money and because we are so smart, we become Supreme Court justices, we become senators, we become members of the House, the cabinet, the whole 9 yards. But we have to go back to this robot. These guys can't communicate with us because we are of such a minority and we know nothing. And as you look at our candidates that we have running, every one of these people are just like we are. And instead of having this politics from the top down, we need to have politics from the top up. And I mean, between Dan Wilkie and Sean, Obi's gone. Dave Ross is going to be our next lieutenant governor. Thank God for Mary. We have someone in Madison that sticks up for us, and we can communicate with her. It's just unbelievable what we have allowed to have happen, and that money is so absolutely important. And it's like in my campaign, I have been told to take Russ Decker out. It's going to take $225,000. Now that's a lot of money, but we can do it. Now earlier I passed out a piece of paper or an envelope, and in this envelope and I'd like to have you take a minute and fill these out. It asks just simple questions. Do you want a yard sign? Would you help doing doors? There's a spot in there for you to donate some money to me, and I really need that. Between Troy and Travis, we've got a website up. We've got it running up and going today. It's not complete. It's under construction, and we need a little help to get that thing up and rolling. But what I really need on that piece of paper is your email, because as we're emailing out off of our website to you, and we're going to try to have every week, 2 week hit 100 words or less, none of this 15-page documents. And what we want you to do is for you to email those to your friends, and we will absolutely start a grassroots program. I need your support. I need your prayers. I need your help. Together we can put this together, and if Obama way is better, I'll take my old Model T any day. Vote, Jimmy boy!